Let's dive in.
Up and Adam show on a Monday. We've got Sean Alexander on the show, Tarvarius Ward on the program as well. So we are an NFC-based heavy show today. We tackled the AFC last week. It's the NFC's turn, and we're going to start with the West. All 4 teams among the 21 that start the next phase of their OTAs today, by the way. So let's take a look at the odds for the division. We love being partnered with FanDuel Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook, baby. And if you see here, the Niners, the heavy faves, at -195, followed by the Rams at +330, Seahawks at +750. Oh, we love a long shot. David Goliath here. Kyler Murray, what you got? Cardinals sitting there pretty at +1200. Ooh, I kind of like that. I can't wait to talk to Tarvarius Ward about that. Is he pretty good against the Niners? Or against the Cardinals?
Oh, he owns the Cardinals. He owns the bird's nest.
Yeah, he likes that matchup. Does he like facing them more or DK Metcalf more?
Oof.
That's a good question.
Good question.
Good question. Let's ask him
What's
that.
the question, though?
Okay, fine. God damn. It's a Monday.
What's the question about these Niners?
What did you throw at me?
They're little mini footballs today, okay? There you go.
Oh, that's kind of not
Touchdown.
so bad. Let's see. Can I just catch one?
There
Oh, my
we go.
God.
Come on, Kay.
Oh, my gosh. We're going to start with the San Francisco 49ers. Are they the faves? How favy should they be? My real question for them is what has been called like 99% of the pie or something outrageous like that, the mental of it. What's going on between the ears of this Niners squad with after what happened in Super Bowl 58? And not long after what happened in a couple Super Bowls before that. I feel like it's got to take something out of you up here, and it's got to take something in here. I don't even know, like in your aura, saging, Aya, whatever you want to call it, to get it done and make sure that that doesn't happen again. This is time number 3 that Kyle Shanahan's been a part of a Super Bowl loss, in which his team led in the fourth quarter. That is jilting. That is a jilting like no other. The second time for a lot of these Niner stars, like Bosa, Kittle, and Debo. So it's hard to pull yourself up off the mat mentally. It's hard to capture what you had the season before and keep the chemistry after losing in that fashion. I asked Debo back in March if coming so close, if playing in 4 NFC championship games in 5 years without a Lombardi to show for it has shaken his faith at all, and here was his answer.
Nah, not at all. Because, I mean, if you look at it, we still got, 95% of the guys that's coming back. And, I got all the faith in the world in this team that we have. It's cool and all, 4 out of 5 NFC championships, making 2 Super Bowls. That's all cool and fine and dandy, but it's not cool when you're not the team at the end of the year holding Lombardi. So everybody on this team has one goal, and I hope we sit out there and we get it done.
Okay, that makes me feel good. His faith isn't shaken, right? If Debo is one thing, he is honest. He is honest and direct. And he is right, because he got pretty much everybody coming back. You can argue they're honestly even stronger on paper now than they were in the Super Bowl. They get Hufanga back from injury. We missed him. Ricky Pearsall and Leonard Floyd, he who gets to face Aaron Rodgers, who destroyed Aaron Rodgers' year 4 snaps in. And that was a quiet move that now everybody's talking about in free agency. So we'll see. The biggest move, I think, obviously, the DC change, right? You go from Steve Wilkes to Nick Sorensen, new assistant head coach, Brandon Staley, a downward dog in his way into the whole mix here. We'll see if he can help as well. I hope we can see these Niners find a way to use what happened as a positive, as the best do, right? The best use those bad things to fuel them and not sink them this year. And I don't think it will. Is Hamilton around? Hamilton, if he's around, that kind of felt heavy lifty to me. That kind of felt like, I feel like they're going to be right the F back in there. Don't you?
I do too. I think there's just so much talent there, and I expect a response from this group. I don't think they're going to pack it in, or, that mental aspect is going to be too much for them. I think they know what time it is. They know this might be the best shot they have in this window before they have to make those decisions with contracts like a Brandon Ayuk. So, I expect them to be right back in that mix again for sure.
What's your biggest question about the Niners, if you're being dead honest with me?
I think that is the only question, because I think on paper, you look at the roster, you look at the talent, you look at everything they have going for them. I don't have any doubts about the talent or that roster. I think, the expectation should be the Super Bowl once again.
So, coach?
Those decisions in big moments, yeah. He's got to show he can, that he's going to make the right decisions in these big moments. And I think there's sometimes I'm interested to see the Staley aspect of it too, because I think there have been times where Shanahan hasn't been as aggressive on fourth downs. I wonder how much we know Brandon Staley's Mr. Aggressive. I wonder, how much that plays into it. And if we see Kyle get a little more aggressive at times, but we'll see.
I like that. What's your biggest question, guys, on the 49ers? Hit us up at Up and Adams Show. We've got Mooney on the program, so we'll be talking to him. He, of course, played with the Chiefs. He's here now. We've got lots of things to talk to him about. The next unanswered question, thanks, Hammy, for debuting there. He was not ready to come on camera, and I appreciate him as always. Hold on to your butts.
Rams, what's the
God.
question? Oh, sorry, Kay. That came in hot. All right. Rams question. What's the question? Hey!
Kat, what team are you on? Kat. Did I not ask you last week for a paintball gun, a taser, a blow dart, a tranquilizer, a super soaker? Like, where is the retaliation? You're just leaving me here in that, I'm like a sitting duck.
Yeah, I almost feel like your brother. This is very one-sided at this point.
No, it literally is. Okay, next up, it's the LA Rams. Okay, LA Rams, my real question. Listen, they're coming off their awesome run to the playoffs last year. I feel like they were slept on last year. They're going to be explosive. That's not the question. They've got Stafford and Kyron and Kupp and Puka. The question is, can this defense without Aaron Donald still play up to snuff? What will they look like? How do they fill this hole? Listen, he's irreplaceable. No question. No one else out there like him. No one can replicate the production. This dude can single-handedly just disrupt an entire offense. But that being said, the Rams put in a lot of work this offseason to try to upgrade the defense, okay? They ranked 20th last year with Aaron Donald. So if you take a look, they draft some studs out of Florida State, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk with their first 2 picks, 2 athletic monsters. They were leaders on their defense, respectively, or together. They were, beasts out there. So last year's third rounder, Kobe Turner, he's expected to be full-time right now, racking up 9 sacks last year. And he only started a handful of games. They also add former All-Pro Trey White to the mix. If he can stay healthy, this entire secondary is going to be different from when LA ran out there in the playoff loss to Detroit, in Detroit. And speaking of Detroit, we're going to get a pretty good idea of how different this defense is right out the gates, because they get that playoff rematch beautifully done by Charlotte Carey and Mike North and company making the schedule. That is Week 1 Sunday Night Football. That's prime time. Carrie Underwood's going to talk about you guys, not Aaron Donald, even though they're probably going to talk about Aaron Donald 95% of the time and how he's not going to be there. What do you got, defense? They flew under the radar. Even in the offseason, even making draft picks, which they never do, they flew under the radar. So I'm impressed by what McVay and Snead have done sneakily to make the team better. And my mini question within the question about the defense is how much can they push? Can they push the Niners atop the division this year? They've got, what is it, plus 3,200 to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if I'm taking them. I don't know if I'm doing all that, but would I be surprised? What is it? Plus 330 to win the NFC West? All right, I like that. I don't hate that. Let's go with the Seahawks here. Next up, Seattle.
What's the question?
I hate this game. No, I'm over it. Unless I have some sort of... No, I'm kidding. He puts the basket away okay.
I'm a guilty Catholic, Kay.
Oh, man. I don't know. Can you say that anymore? I don't know if you can say that.
I don't even know. All right, moving on.
Seattle.
Oval Office.
A lot of questions. I would say, if I was to do a power ranking of most mysterious teams in the NFL, they're top 5 for me. They're a mystery. My one question to hone in on this Monday is, what is the identity of the team going to be? A very broad question, but listen, feel me out here. Mike McDonald's new head coach calling the defense. Okay. Safe to assume he's going to be aggressive. He's going to be attacking, as we saw him utilize and roll out that style in Baltimore. It should be fun to watch. He's got guys like Devin Witherspoon at his disposal. I'm into it, okay? The offense, big question. Pete Carroll, what were you going to do? Establish the run. That's it. Over the course, people, of Pete Carroll's 14-year run as head coach, the Seahawks ran the ball at the 2nd highest clip in the NFL. Does that continue with McDonald? Is new OC Ryan Grubb going to get the passing game going like he did with Penix at Washington last year? I wanted to show you his answer from his intro presser in February because there's a lot to chew on here.
Yeah, I think, over the course of my career, we've done both, certainly. I think, when you look at what we did, probably more specifically at UW over the last 2 seasons, we were, accentuating the positives. And there's 3 receivers that are probably going to get drafted this year. And so I think, moving the football through the air was a logical choice. And we are going to be a physical team in Seattle. And over the years, that's something that we've certainly done when the components all matched up. We ran the ball very effectively.
So clearly the run game, still a point of emphasis here. The talk of, what did he call it? Accentuating the positives, I believe. And how we kind of opened things up when he had the trio of Rome and Polk and McMillan at Washington is all Hamilton talks to me about when we're talking about Seattle. It's got to make you think about DK and Lockett and Smith and Jigba, right? It could be like that. I feel like we haven't seen that group fully unleashed yet. And maybe this Grubb dude is the guy that's going to make it happen, given his track record. All roads and all signs and all little footballs that are being pelted at me point to Geno Smith. What is he going to look like in 2024? 2022 Geno again? Is Sam Howell going to push him at all? So every time I get closer to an answer, I have more questions. This is a big mystery of a team, a lot of talent. I'm hearing DK trade rumors. If he's out of there, what does this look like? And then it's like the Pete Carroll aftermath. What is that? How big of a thing was Pete Carroll to what this team was? They're pulling down his quotes, his posters around, like they don't want any pictures of Pete Carroll in the building. What is that? New page or hangover, I guess. If it comes together, playoff potential. What are the playoff odds? Or sorry, what is the
Plus 750.
plus 750? Hamilton, do you like that?
To win the West.
Hammy, do you like that?
There's too many questions for me, and the Niners. I think the Niners, are going to be tough to unseat atop that division. But as far as getting into the playoffs, with the talent they have in that roster, I could see it happening. It really is. It's going to depend on the quarterback situation, like you brought up. Is Geno going to be able to be the guy we saw a couple of years ago again? Yeah. Is Sam Howell going to push them? What happens there? But yeah,
plus 320 to make the playoffs is what I'm being told in my ear. You guys want to go have some fun over at FanDuel Sportsbook? Questions be gone. I just realized my new favorite, because he's literally pelting me with balls, which is unhinged behavior because I have no way to retaliate. I'm going to take it out on you. You're the boss. And you
here we go. Great.
Right. So I decided that anytime I bring you on camera, I'm going to tee you up in a way that you have to be negative.
He wrote this
Thanks.
segment.
I appreciate it.
I feel like I could just be, what about Kyle Shanahan and make you, that's going to be the new game.
Great.
Yeah,
that's why we
didn't call it the upside. It's up and Adams and down and Hammer, okay? Because that's what's happening, because I'm taking you down the rest of the week. Only
Thanks.
negative comments
Appreciate
out of you. Okay, finally, let's go with the Arizona Cardinals.
What's the question for the Cardinals?
Kat is in so much trouble. She's the most in trouble.
What's the question?
Oh my gosh. My question for the Cardinals is, by the way, if you guys have questions about anything, we're doing a mailbag later in the show, so hit us up in the YouTube chat. Thank you guys. Please subscribe over at Up and Adams Show. You guys can hit me up on Twitter at Up and Adams Show and at Hey K Adams. Thank you guys for watching on FanDuel TV. And of course, go download the app and have some fun. What else are you doing? It's May, like NBA of SchmNBA. That Brunson guy got hurt. It's over. So let's do this thing, and you guys can go have some fun with the NFL already over at FanDuel Sportsbook. The question for the Arizona Cardinals: can this be the breakout year we have been waiting for from Kyler Murray? I know it's an uphill battle. I know it's a loaded division, but if Kyler can play up to his potential, I've been saying this for literally 5 years. I'm not counting the Cardinals out, okay? Monty, Gannon, Lego. Put him in the best position possible. They're trying. What better thing to do than bring in Marvin Harrison Jr., the big fish? Let's go. They could have traded back and done their thing. They didn't. They transformed this offensive line. They have Paris Johnson. They got Jonah Williams. Ultimately, it is up to Kyler to make it work. He's got the talent. He's got talent around him. Granted, this is a guy who had decap for a bunch of time and it didn't work out, but it really does sound like he has been more locked in, really locked in this offseason. Buda Baker talked about his maturity and leadership to me a couple of months ago. And then there's this bite from Gannon last week that I feel like flew under the radar.
I think his game's going to go to another level. I know it is. I've been extremely pleased with where he's at, what he's doing, the command and the leadership that he's displaying right now. I mean, I think it was the best RVA I've ever seen in my life on Wednesday, truthfully. I had to watch it a couple times because did my eyes really see what I just saw? Not to put a bunch of pressure on him, but he's doing extremely well.
Okay, this is a 180 from anything that we've heard about Kyler. And we heard from the previous regime, right? And all these little leaks and things that came out. Am I getting sucked into off-season hype? Maybe. Will it translate on the field? I don't know. I'm not going to get caught sleeping on Arizona, and I like an underdog. I like a team that's not talked about, and he really has figured things out. This team is going to be a problem in the West this year. Those are my questions for every team in the NFC West. We have such a great show.